They say you can plan everything about your birth, the hospital bag, the playlist, the outfit you'll bring your baby home in, but nothing, and I mean nothing, prepares you for giving birth in the middle of a traffic jam. My name is Emily Carter. I'm 31 years old, from Manchester, England, and in the summer of 2019, I lived through the most terrifying, chaotic, and strangely beautiful day of my life. It started as one of those ordinary mornings that don't feel special at all. I was 9 months pregnant, swollen ankles, barely sleeping at night, and more than ready to meet my baby. My due date was still a week away, and my doctor had reassured me that first-time mothers usually go past their due date. I thought I had time. I thought I had control. But, as I would soon learn, babies don't care about schedules. That morning, I decided to visit my mom across town. I missed her comfort, her cooking, and honestly, I just wanted to be babied one last time before I became a mother myself. The plan was simple: drive over, spend the day there, then head home in the evening when Daniel, my husband, could pick me up. We were still joking the night before that our baby would probably make us wait another 2 weeks. I had no idea that by the end of this day, everything would change. The first contraction came while I was on the road. At first, I thought it was just another cramp, but no. This one was sharp, deep, a pain that made me freeze at the wheel. I gripped the steering wheel tighter, my heart racing. I told myself, stay calm, it's just the beginning. First labors take hours, even days. That's what everyone says. I still had time, but then, only minutes later, another contraction hit. Stronger, then another. They were coming too quickly, too close together. My body wasn't giving me space to breathe. I dialed Daniel, my voice shaking. I think it's starting, I told him. Meet me at Mom's house. I was trying to stay calm for his sake, but inside I was panicking. And that's when traffic came to a dead stop, completely frozen. Sirens wailed in the distance. Blue flashing lights painted the sky ahead. There had been an accident up the motorway. Every single lane locked tight with cars, miles and miles of metal and exhaust. I looked at the dashboard clock, praying the traffic would clear, but instead, the contractions grew stronger. I remember gripping the steering wheel with both hands, trying to breathe like they taught us in prenatal class. Inhale, exhale, stay calm. But calm is impossible when your body is forcing a baby out of you in the middle of gridlock. I started to cry, not because of the pain, but because of the fear. I wasn't in a hospital. I wasn't even at home. I was trapped on a motorway surrounded by strangers. I glanced at the car next to me. The driver, a middle-aged man, rolled down his window when he saw my face. "Are you all right?" he shouted. And with tears in my eyes, I whispered the words that made the color drain from his face. "I think I'm having the baby." And just like that, panic spread. Doors opened. People stepped out of their cars. Someone yelled for an ambulance, but the ambulance was stuck behind us in the same endless jam. Then, as if by some miracle, a woman rushed over and said, "I'm a nurse." She slid into the back seat of my car, her voice calm, her hands steady. She looked me straight in the eye and said, "You're not alone. I've got you." Those words kept me breathing. The strangers around us suddenly became a team. A towel appeared from one car, bottled water from another. People directed traffic away to give us space. My little hatchback transformed into a delivery room. I leaned back against the seat, sweat dripping down my face, veil of panic wrapped around me. But this nurse never left my side. The contractions were brutal now, each one stronger than the last, leaving me gasping for air. I screamed. I gritted my teeth. I begged for it to stop, but my body was relentless. The nurse kept her voice steady. "Listen to me, Emily. You're strong. Push when your body tells you. You can do this?" I clung to her hand like it was the only thing tethering me to reality. Minutes stretched into an eternity. Car horns blared in the distance. Strangers' voices surrounded me, encouraging me, cheering me on, praying out loud. At one point, I heard a woman's voice yell, "Come on, love, you've got this!" Another man shouted, "We're all here with you." They weren't just spectators. In that moment, they were my lifeline. And then it happened. That unstoppable urge to push. My body took over, and no amount of fear could hold it back. I screamed, I pushed, I cried, and then that cry, that tiny, piercing cry that shattered the air and silenced the chaos around us. My baby was here, my son, covered in blankets from strangers' cars, placed gently on my chest, his heartbeat racing against mine. Tears streamed down my face as I whispered, "You're here. You're really here." The traffic jam erupted into cheers. People clapped, they cried, they shouted congratulations across car roofs. Strangers hugging strangers, because a new life had just entered the world in the unlikeliest of places. The nurse wiped her own tears as she checked my son, declaring him healthy, strong, perfect. Daniel finally made it, running down the line of cars with panic in his eyes, only to find me cradling our newborn. He collapsed beside me, laughing and crying at the same time, whispering, "I can't believe this. You're incredible." And as I held my baby in my arms, still trembling, still in shock, I realized something profound. We spend so much time trying to plan the perfect birth, the perfect story, the perfect timing. But birth has its own plan. It comes when it comes. And in the end, it doesn't matter if it happens in a hospital bed, at home, or in the backseat of a car in the middle of a traffic jam. What matters is that moment when you hear that first cry, when you hold your baby close, and nothing else in the world matters. So yes, in 2019, on a hot summer day in Manchester, I gave birth in the middle of gridlocked traffic. It was messy, it was terrifying, it was chaotic. But it was also the most extraordinary, unforgettable moment of my life. Because that day, surrounded by strangers who became my family for an hour, I became a mother. And if you ask me now, years later, if I would change how it happened, my answer is no, not for the world.